More people every day are ditching animal products, embracing plant-based foods, and speaking up for what matters. With my experience as an international instructor for vegan nutrition and an award-winning author, I interview experts, innovators, and celebrities about the global movement towards a plant-based future. Do you want to learn how to combat the injustice in our food system affecting your health, the animals, and the planet? Well, you're in the right place. It all starts here with Eating Like You Give a Damn. Welcome to the Eating Like You Give a Damn show, the place to discover your passion for plant-based living, one bite at a time. Did I just say show? Yeah, I did. And here's why. We're trying something new to see if you like this format. So this podcast is now being streamed live from the Eating Like You Give a Damn page on Facebook. So if you've been listening to the show for a while and you want to watch the show live, just head on over to the Eating Like You Give a Damn Facebook page and be sure to click the thumbs up button to like the page. That way you'll be notified when we go live with our guests. And from there, our recording goes to production, where my lovely production manager, Tina, makes the audio sound awesome for all of those who listen to the show in their favorite podcast player. And this is our first kickoff with the live show streaming on Facebook. So welcome to all of the viewers that are here right now. This episode is brought to you by my program for plant-powered health and wellness coaches called Foundation to Freedom. Foundation to Freedom helps vegan, vegetarian, and plant-based wellness coaches earn a full-time income doing what they love while making a big impact with their purpose-driven mission. And I have a detailed free guide that shows you exactly how to do that if you're a coach. So go to coaches.eatinglikeyougivadamn.com to get your copy today. Yep, that's what we call a shameless self-plug. Now, you are all in for a real treat because today we are chatting with Kris Reid, president of Ardor SEO, that's ARDOR SEO, and avid world traveler. Hey, Kris, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? I'm coming into you from Saigon in Vietnam at the moment.
Oh my goodness, Vietnam, that's so awesome. Now, Kris has a fun background because not only is he the hashtag coolest guy in SEO, helping vegan entrepreneurs and business owners with their websites, page ranking, link building strategies, and keyword research to beat the online competition, he's also lived in 9 countries and traveled the world for 2 years straight. And now he's living in Vietnam. So he's got some fun stories to share, as well as some valuable knowledge for vegan business owners.
I really need to update my bio there because it's 10 countries now.
Oh, 10 countries now. Even better. Oh my gosh.
Since I moved to Vietnam.
Yes. All right. Well, and then let's see if you end up moving after that, and then we'll have to keep updating you. So are you ready to dig in with us, Kris?
Let's do it.
So the first question I really love to ask guests is what your vegan story is specifically. So tell us a little bit about, what life was like for you growing up, where did you grow up, and what was your idea about food and health and all of those things. So give us a little bit of background on you on that.
Yes, I grew up in country Australia, which is kind of like Texas. Not that I'm like in the US is massive in Australia, and dairy milk is super cheap, and everyone's indoctrinated that that's what you eat. So yeah, that's how I grew up. Then eventually moved to the city and studied software engineering, and then moved to Europe and worked in finance for years, and that kind of set me on the trajectory of where I am today.
Well, that's really interesting. So then when did you have that moment of clarity that you decided that you just weren't going to eat animals and animal products anymore? Like, what happened there?
Yeah, so I worked in finance until the global financial crisis, then lost my job and went, finance kind of sucks. There's a reason they have to pay you so much money, because it's soul destroying. You're not adding any value to the world. You're just moving money around for the super rich. And so I kind of went on a little journey to work out what the hell I want to do with my life. And I eventually discovered yoga and went, man, this is really cool, and really, changed my life a lot. And I practiced a type of yoga called Ashtanga yoga, where you do the kind of same sequence every day. And I noticed that like doing the same sequence every day, you really can tell what you eat has an effect on your body. And I started feeling the inflammation that meat was giving me on my body. And so I started cutting out meat and then stopped it altogether, and felt a lot better for it. I didn't do it on any ethical grounds or whatever. I just personally felt better for not eating it. And like, even when I was then vegetarian, I remember speaking to Eric from Happy Cow, and him kind of like, we were talking about vegetarian and veganism, and I knew nothing about it. I didn't know what veganism ever was when I certainly lived in Australia. And like, he started telling me that like the dairy industry is kind of worse than the meat industry. And I just, if you don't know any of it, I was like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Like, they don't kill those dairy cows, do they? But then you start learning about it, and you're like, that is some atrocious stuff. So, it aligns with your morals to stop doing all that.
Sure. Do you remember any of the resources that you went to actually like learn all of that stuff?
Really a lot of stuff on Facebook. I mean, Anonymous for the Voiceless is really good. Like, but yeah, like speaking with, going to vegan meetups, and speaking with activists that educate you. Then you start watching films and stuff like What the Health and Game Changers, and you're like, like it's just stupid.
Right. Yeah. It's such an interesting realization, I think, because I get to talk to a lot of people that just kind of, have that moment of clarity. It's like, you take a look at what's actually going on, and you start to feel almost like you've been lied to your whole life, right? We all come from this background.
Well, just yesterday, I watched this some YouTube guy who's got like 5 million subscribers. He went plant-based for a month and made a video about it, and had heaps of great comments on it. And quite a lot of the comments were like, "Oh, it's okay for you because you're rich." And it's like, why is there this like stigma that veganism is so expensive? It's like, beans and fruit and vegetables. It's like the cheapest food on earth.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I feel like just from conversations I've had, some people have that idea that maybe it's too expensive, or that it's for the affluent or something, because, a lot of the new processed items that are coming out, all these really cool, I mean, it's so cool to see all of this stuff coming out, right? All the, the meats and, all of the dairy alternatives, like the alternative to butter, cheeses, all of that stuff. And it's really come a long way in a short amount of time. But yeah, I mean, it's not subsidized by our government. So this is what the true cost of food actually is when it's not subsidized by the government. And that's a whole nother topic of conversation, when we talk about politics, as far as our food is concerned. But yeah, people tend to have that idea that it's more expensive, when in reality, it's just like you said. I mean, it's like, it's actually the cheapest food on earth.
Yeah. I mean, we had a vegan meetup on the weekend, and like often we try and bring other people to experience vegan food. It's like that it's so crazy for them. It's like, you've eaten an apple before, right? That's vegan.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that's cool to hear that you have like a local meetup where are you just inviting just anybody that you meet and just say, hey, come and try this food?
Yeah, like we just have a Facebook group, and last weekend we had a games day, and we all went out for food afterwards. And yeah, it's nice for vegan travelers that are coming around through the city. They can meet some new people, or any new expats that come to town.
Nice. I love that. That sounds so awesome. That's so great that you do that. So speaking of, world travelers, that you have obviously been to a lot of places that the average person doesn't really get to see. So, I'm really excited about kind of understanding better from you and your personal experience, maybe what the global view about plant-based living is. So just based on your travels and everything, just what is the global view? Like, where do you find most of the people that, adopt this very easily? And where do you find that that's more resistant?
Yeah. So like the Philippines is like, they just don't understand it at all. Like, we have an office in the Philippines, and when I'm over there and we eat, it's quite hard to get food. Like they we'll put meat and vegetables, and like, it's got vegetables, it's vegetarian, right? And I even went to a vegetarian cafe there one time, and they had a chicken sandwich on the menu, and I was like, that's not vegetarian. They're like, we're not vegan, dude. And you're like, yeah, like they get a little bit confused of what the things are. But I'm also in a Philippines vegan group, and you know, they're learning, and it's very active, and it's growing. And you know, even places like Veganuary, that's really UK based mainly,
Right.
they still get that information and run with it. So it is growing. The rest is Southeast Asia. So like I've spent a lot of time living in Cambodia and Vietnam, and they're both Buddhist countries, but they're the line of two different types of Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have kind of different ideas on vegetarianism, really, not veganism. There's like Maharana Buddhism, which is in Vietnam. So they all practice vegetarianism on moon days. So when it's full moon, everyone goes to like the vegan restaurants, which is annoying because we have to charge extra and have to wait in line when normally they're empty.
No.
But it's good that at least that they're being good Buddhists, you know, twice a month.
Yeah.
But in Cambodia, like the word that they use for vegetarian food is monk food, because the monks are kind of meant to eat vegetarian, but they don't, which is a bit of a shame. And like, you know, even the Dalai Lama, who's not vegetarian, which I think because it's a really old idea of supply and demand, that if you're not killing the animal, then you're not responsible for it. So like the monks feel that, well, in their idea is that if they're given an offering of something, they eat it. So, you know, if it's a chicken or a sheep, then they eat it because they didn't kill it, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which just seems a bit silly to me. But
I'm sure it seems silly to a lot of people, but I can imagine that there are plenty of people that they still don't have that emotional connection, you know, or that level of empathy for all living creatures, you know, that live and breathe and have families and enjoy life just like we do. So yeah, and to that, I think we have to come to some sort of a understanding, I suppose, about that this is the way the world has always been for the most part, and throughout societies all around the world. And now here we are with this, you know, I mean, here we are in 2020. This is like the uprising of the plant-based and the vegan movement, so to speak, even though there have been people that have adopted a plant-based diet, you know, like for centuries, you know, they chose to live this way. And now it's really cool to see all of the research that's coming out that I know that probably a lot of people in the world just aren't seeing or aren't, you know, privy to getting a hold of the research that actually shows the health implications that are tied to this way of living as well. So what is your thinking about, just based on your experience, you know, what are people thinking about their health, you know, long term?
Yeah, well, I recently just had my mum come for a visit. Me and my wife took her for a trip around Vietnam, and you know, she was vegan for 2 weeks while she was here. And we did a blood test. We did the old Game Changers blood test before and after.
Did. That's awesome.
Yeah. She had a huge like cholesterol drop, you know, it was like really great. And it's like 2 weeks, like, and you know, it's fabulous. And a lot of it's mindset, you know, she's like just been doing what she's been doing forever. So she's like, and then like, just go to the store and just pick the soy milk rather than the dairy milk. Like, it's that easy. And
right.
She's like, oh yeah, that's pretty easy. I can do that. Yeah. So yeah, like my sister, we kind of had a bit of she was also traveling around Cambodia with her kids. And yeah, we had a bit of an altercation talking about like speciesism, because she was like getting all upset about some animal dying. And I was like, well, how's that different to a pig? And she It's like, damn vegans. It's why people hate vegans. Because we point out your irrational thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So thinking about like this world traveling that you've done. So where is all the great vegan food at? You know, like where's the plethora of all the fruits and vegetables and like the meatless dishes that are just out of this world?
Where I live in Saigon, I live in this town Din. It's in District 1 in the middle of Saigon. But there's this like a little canal that goes around it that's like a moat. Saigon's a massive city, you know, like 8-9 million people. And I live in Little Veganville. It's awesome. Like on my street, like there's 2 vegan restaurants. On the next street, there's another one. On the next street, there's another one. Like they're all around me. And so they have these like actual restaurants, which are bit fancy and nice. And then they have these things called com chai. So com means rice and chai means vegetarian. And like, they're just so delicious. It's basically like they give you a plate of rice and then it's a smorgasbord where you just like dump on top what you want. And you wouldn't believe how cheap they are. Like I live in the kind of the most expensive area of town. And, you know, I usually get like 2 servings because I eat a lot. And, you know, so they'll charge me like 50,000 dong, which is about $1.80, you know, but like if you go to the outskirts of town, you can get a com chai for like 8,000 dong, which is, you know, about 40 cents or something. And it's like, the food is just so yummy.
Oh man, you've totally just inspired me to come and visit you.
It like the value is so good and the food is so good, it makes it really hard to go anywhere else. Like you go to a fancy restaurant where it's like, you know, $25 or something. It's like, man, I could go there and it's like 50 cents and it's like better.
Wow, that's so cool.
The ambience is usually not as nice and the lighting isn't so fancy, but you know, the food's delicious.
I was just talking about that with my husband, Dave, too, because we just went out last night. You know, here in our little area of St. Pete, Florida, we have a lot of really great options downtown. And then the further you get away from downtown, which is kind of like more convenient to us, is a little further outside of just the downtown area. You know, we've got these really, really great vegan options. It's so cool. And we went to one last night and I just kind of stood there and I looked around and I was like, man, I'm looking forward to coming into a good lump sum of money so I could just like give it to all the vegan restaurants in the area so they could spruce up the place, because we want that ambiance too.
Yeah. Super. I actually used to live in St. Petersburg, the other St. Petersburg in Russia.
Oh, nice. Okay. What was that like?
Cold.
Yeah, you won't find me there then.
It's such a beautiful city though. It's gorgeous. And I mean, I wasn't vegan when I lived there, but I've heard that veganism is really growing in Russia as well.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. I mean, I know that just based on, you know, the plant-based related news that I get to see from like Plant-Based News and Live Kindly and Veg News and those platforms, it just seems like there are other countries right now that are kind of beating us out here in the US.
Oh, the UK is amazing.
Right? Exactly.
So high.
Oh, yeah. If we have to watch another Live Kindly video where they talk about a new launch of some really cool vegan product over there in the UK, like we are going to, you know, pull our hair out because we just like bring it here to the US. Better yet, bring it right here to our backyard in Florida.
Yeah, like Veganuary does such an amazing job, you know. I love how gentle they are. Like, you know, I saw a Facebook post they had yesterday. It's like, you know, if you slip up, it's okay. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. Mm-hmm. And so then they like make veganism really accessible, because people think it's hard, you know, like, oh, it's so scary, because, well, change is the hardest thing, you know.
Yes. Yes, it is. That's for sure. Okay, so I got to know, I saw some stuff about you on your website that you've got some crazy stories here. And I just feel like just for fun, just to throw in something. I mean, even if it's not like, you know, plant-based related, or if it is, that would be even better, obviously. But like some cool stuff about like you got drugged by gorgeous women, you swam with the sharks. Like, what is this life of yours? So tell us like a really fun story real quick.
The first one, I was traveling with my father in Latvia in Eastern Europe, right near St. Petersburg, and a beautiful sunny day. And we were sitting out having some cocktails in the sun, and these 2 cute girls came over to have a drink with us, and they invited us to some bar. And so we went, and we'd read about like some scam where they just charge like crazy prices for these drinks. And we're like, this is all like just a bit too weird, because it's like, you girls are a little friendly, like a little bit more friendly than girls normally are.
You so seem shocked by that.
and so we left, and like we ended up going to another bar, but like whatever they'd given us, like it was some sort of drug, because we were like off our, like we ended up like in a fire escape and just couldn't like work out what the hell we were doing. We were off our tits. It was crazy.
Wow.
But, yeah, thankfully we got home safely.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to hear that. I'm just wondering, did these girls ever show back up? Like, were they following you to figure out when you were just going to pass out so they could do whatever?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd been living in Russia for quite some time then, so I was quite an avid vodka drinker, so I could hold my own.
Oh my goodness! Wow. All right, so that's really fun. That's a fun story. Okay, so we're gonna segue into to understanding a little bit more about what you do and how you're helping vegan business owners. So tell us, what exactly is SEO, aka search engine optimization? I only know this because I'm an entrepreneur myself, but tell us exactly what that is and why it is so important for business owners, especially vegan business owners. And explain it to us like we're five.
Yeah, so search engine optimization is the best way to grow your business. It's about getting your message in front of the very people that are actively searching for exactly what you do. You know, every other form of marketing is called interrupt marketing. A great marketer, the grandfather of marketing, Seth Godin, coined that term. But basically, you're interrupting people that want to be doing anything else. You know, they listen to the radio or watching the TV or even on Facebook or whatever. And, you know, your ad pops up in their face and goes, hey, buy my crap. Well, that's annoying. You know, even if it's a really good ad, it's still annoying because you're trying to do something else. Where the opposite is someone goes to Google and they type vegan restaurant near me, or, you know, vegan leather goods or vegan boots or whatever the heck. And your website is there. And that's exactly what you sell. You know, like how powerful is that? Getting your message in front of those people. And I mean, something that we spoke about just before we started the call is just how badly most web design companies do this. You know, web design companies are really good at making beautiful websites, but they don't think about what people are searching for. And which, you know, then you structure a website really badly. You know, just recently, one of our newest customers, he'd just spent 20 grand on a website that generates him no money. And so it's like, that's, you know, he was a little bit skittish to come on with us, because he's like, I've already spent 20 grand with someone else and didn't make any money. You know, I just hate hearing that, because like, it doesn't have to be that way. Let's find the cheapest and easiest way to move you forward. And like, you don't even have to have a beautiful website. Like, people don't really give a crap unless you're selling photography or something that's really beautiful. Then probably web design. Then no one really cares. Like, even if you're selling leather boots, doesn't matter if it's on a crappy website. Like, the boots are what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even when I first started selling, well, we didn't really sell SEO to start with. We sold backlinks, which is a part of SEO. And I sold them with a PDF. I didn't have a website for a long time. I'd go kind of door to door to SEO companies and knock on their door and go, hey, buy my stuff. You know, and that's all you need, is get your message in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have an ugly website with nice message on there. As long as people are seeing it, that's what's important.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you said that too. That makes so much sense, which is something that I work with my coaches and wellness professionals that are coming out of my program, where I'm providing that certificate for vegan health and wellness coaches. And that's the first thing that I try to get them to understand is so many times they get so, you know, their brains are so clogged up with like, I don't know how to start my business. You know, what am I supposed to do first? And a lot of times they'll go straight to the website and they'll spend time or money, you know, like you're talking about, a lot of money on getting a website built when they're not necessarily clear yet about their messaging. And that makes a lot of sense too. Or if they're very clear about the product that they're providing, you know, in this case, it would be a service, but that makes so much sense that there's got to be that clarity there first in order for the website to even work in the first place, and then, and utilize your services to actually get it ranked. So that way you beat out the competition.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of doing the research first too, is that you know how many people are searching for what you do. Because the difference also with SEO and other forms of marketing is you're not creating demand.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting in front of people's faces, you can like create demand and awareness of a product, where SEO, they have to know what it is. So if no one's searching vegan leather boots, then there's probably not a market, and it's going to be hard to sell them. So it's a good way to know that your product is viable too. Like if there's no one in your town searching for a vegan restaurant, it's going to be really hard to have a vegan restaurant. So it's a good way to do market research as well.
Yes, that's huge. So that's really awesome. So then, how did you determine that? I know that, as a company, obviously you help anybody who needs help with SEO and all of those really amazing things that you do to help optimize the website and the search rankings and things like that. But when did you decide that you were going to, niche a little bit and start helping vegan entrepreneurs? And why did you make that decision?
I have a business coach, and she really pushes me to like have a mission, which, because like making money is not that motivating. Like once you make a decent amount of money, it's like, well, yeah, like whatever. Like it's nice to like have a mission and inspire people and like do good in the world. And, I love working with vegan businesses because they've got good ethics and they generally want to make the world a better place. I'm from Australia that was just recently on fire. And, it'd be really nice to have more businesses that are trying to stop the world dying. And one kind of bad thing with vegans is they're all damn hippies and they're terrible at marketing. And so their websites are terrible and they need a lot of help.
There's the like call out right there.
Sometimes I just want to slap them all and go, Jesus, guys, come on. Sometimes they're a little bit timid, and I'm obviously stereotyping all vegans here, but it's like they're a little bit timid about getting in front of people's faces and going, oh, buy my stuff. And they're like, oh, maybe because people yell at them for being vegan or something. But it's like, that's what your website needs to say is like, this is us. Come and buy our stuff now.
Yeah. So I really love that you're saying this too, because it's like you're saying, like most of the other well-meaning vegan entrepreneurs that I come across, they do sort of like kind of fall into a certain stereotype, right? Where they're very driven by compassion and empathy. And so coming across and their messaging, could either, it goes on one end or the other end of the spectrum, where it's either really harsh and angry, or it can be very like light and loving and really like spiritual, that side too. And I know that there's a home for both, but is there some sort of like a happy medium to be able to reach people? Like if they're trying to reach people who aren't necessarily looking for a vegan product, or they're looking to make a vegan lifestyle change, but they're interested in something that just happens to be vegan as a product or a service, where can they refine their messaging if that's who they're targeting?
Yeah, well, if you use like vegan leather as an example, like if you sold vegan leather boots, right? Vegan leather boots should be just as good quality as any leather boots, like that's how you're going to sell your boots. Vegans want good stuff as well. And so like, you need to show that they're that good. You should be able to rank for just leather boots. Why not? People want good products. They don't, obviously vegans care if it's animals abused, but like other people don't care that it's not. It's like, right. Yeah, cool. Like they just want the good product. So if you show that you got really good product, and hey, it's got no animal abuse, and that's a bonus, then more people are going to buy it. But like a really simple thing, and this is what people miss all the time, is they talk about them and not the other person, right? A real thing to learn in sales is no one cares about you. They're always thinking, what's in it for me, and how does this benefit me? And so like, your title tag and your description of your page are kind of your most important things, because that's the first thing someone's going to see in Google. So if someone's searching, vegan leather boots, there's 10 search results that come up. Yours is going to be one of them. And it should not say your brand name, because who cares if they've never heard of your brand name? If you're Amazon, then sure, it's good to have that in there, because people go, Amazon, yeah, I trust them and know them. If they don't know you, then your brand name has no benefit. It's way better to have what people search for. They just search for vegan leather boots. Get that into the title. And don't say like, oh, we're this, we've been around for 200 years and we love ponies or whatever the hell. What's it related? How's it a benefit to that person, And that's a thing that I even myself forget this a lot of times too, is don't sell the features, sell the benefits.
Yes.
And what are the benefits that this person's searching for? So get that into your messaging.
Yeah, I love that that's a huge distinction right there. So for business owners that are listening, yeah, definitely focusing in on the benefits of what you offer as opposed to, what the features are, and I really think that when we're in our business and we really understand our business, it's kind of hard for us to kind of detach ourselves from what all those features are, because we're just like, we want to sell the features, and so that's what comes out in our writing or in our communication. And it's really like a skill that I think most business owners need to really learn how to do.
Well, I mean, a good example, right, is no one cares about SEO. No one cares about backlinks or content or any of the crap that we do. They want to make more money. And that's all that we sell is, do you want more customers? And you use words like imagine. Imagine if you had a constant stream of customers, because that's why most businesses fail, because they can't get enough customers. Yeah. Imagine if you had customers lining up and you could focus completely on serving them, not having to worry about where's the next dollar coming from or where's this next customer coming from. You sell that and it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Do you think that this is a distinction too between, let's say, the difference between, a true entrepreneur or business owner that has something to sell versus, let's say, an influencer? Because sometimes I think that a lot of people who are new to the business space, they get a little confused about what they're seeing that's popular, like say on Instagram or even on Facebook. They're looking at what's popular and they think they have to do all those things too in order to keep up with the Joneses as far as marketing is concerned. So where do we draw the line between that type of marketing as an influencer and actually being a business owner and setting things up right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, you would need to be where your market is, but remember, you've only got so much resources. Like, you and I were just speaking before about like having multiple websites or one website. It's like Google and Amazon have multiple websites, one for each country. They also have a ridiculously big marketing budget. If you don't have that, then stick to one channel. You can get all the leads you need from LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, just go to one. That's all you need, stay there and do it good. Don't spread yourself too thin and not be seen. Right.
Because not being seen by spreading yourself too thin equals, you're not making any money in your business, which means it's more of a hobby than a business, right?
And that's the thing that a lot of business owners starting out struggle with. They don't want to be money focused. It's like, dude, you're going to be out of business if you don't be. Get some freaking customers. And even if you have this mindset that you want to save the world and be environmentally friendly or whatever, you can be a lot more saving the world with a whole cash, cash in your bank than being dirt poor.
Yes, that's exactly my philosophy too. I feel like for people who are really purpose driven in business and mission driven, particularly in this space where it impacts people's health, it impacts the entire planet, it impacts, animals that we really care about, their welfare and their lives, being able to better tackle that, what this movement is all about, being able to better tackle that by being prosperous. So it's almost like as a business owner, we have a responsibility to be prosperous. And that way we show up better for people. We show up better for our mission. So I really love that you said that.
And that's a belief that you should really have too. If you're enriching someone's life, if I have a call with someone and they don't buy our product, I screwed up, right? And I feel bad about that because I know that I can make their company more money. That's what we do. And if I fail to get that across to them, then I've failed to serve them. And same if you're a nutritionist or a health coach, you can make their life better. You can add 10 years to their life. So you just, you basically killed a person. Yeah?
And that's a heavy burden to have to bear if you feel, if you get off that call, with a potential client and it really does. It feels like we have failed that person and we failed, so many other things. It's not just that person and their life and all of their loved ones that are in their life with them, but also, with what's going on in the planet right now, as it relates to how animal consuming animal products has really gotten us into a very dangerous place right now. We're in a state of emergency.
Yeah. And if every vegan business doubled in size, then that would have a hell of a dent on fixing the world.
Heck yeah, and that's what you're here for, man. That's why I love it. Well, awesome. Well, then let's talk about where listeners can find you and learn more about what you do and how you help them with their business.
Yeah, sure. So as a little thank you for having me on your podcast and live, and to help the vegan world grow, if people go to Ardor SEO, ARDORSEO.com/eat, we'll have a special bonus there. They leave a review to help you out and grow your audience. We'll do a video review of your website. So we'll look at what your potential customers are searching for, show you exactly how many people are searching for that stuff, and show you some things you can do yourself, like fixing your title tags, description, what you should put in there, and help you get your website in front of more people and grow your business.
That is fantastic. And are you available on social for anybody to follow too?
I'm not that social a person, but I mean, we have, Adele, my assistant, handles our Facebook, and you can get me on LinkedIn. If you Google the coolest guy in SEO, you'll see plenty of stuff.
That's awesome. And I can attest to, the value that you provide for people, for business owners and entrepreneurs. When we had our one-on-one several months ago, I was just blown away by the amount of value that you were able to give when you took a look at my website, which was pretty much in its infancy stage already. But I just had to know, okay, what does Kriss know that can help me make it better, when I'm ready and very clear on my messaging? And the amount of value you give is just absolutely mind-blowing. So thank you for that. And
thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So listeners, definitely check out Kris Reid, Ardor SEO, ARDOR SEO. All right. Well, it's been super awesome having you here on the show, Kriss. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope I can help serve the vegan world.
If you like the show, be sure to hit that subscribe button in your podcast player and leave us a review on iTunes. Those reviews go a long way in helping us reach more people who would like to hear what we dish about. So thank you so much for participating in that. Also, I want to hear from you. So drop me a comment below if you're watching from Facebook Live and tell me, do you like this live format? I really, really want to know. Throw me a high five emoji if you do. And you can also email me with any suggestions for the show. Stephanie@eatinglikeyougiveadamn.com. Don't forget to visit our website too, eatinglikeyougiveadamn.com, if you want to go deeper with me and find me on social. Easy to follow. I'm at eatinglikeyougiveadamn. That's it for today. Don't forget to follow Kriss. And until next time, veg on, rebels.